You ever wonder how a company that's been around for 100 years, known for just one thing, can suddenly just dominate a brand new multi-billion-dollar market? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're going to break down the story of Novo Nordisk and how they turned their deep expertise in diabetes into what is, for all intents and purposes, a monopoly on weight loss drugs. Seriously, this is a masterclass in strategy. And this quote, man, it just nails it, doesn't it? They took a whole century of knowledge about insulin and completely flipped the script, building this absolutely dominant weight loss empire. Think about that for a second. The company that was the name in diabetes care pivoted so hard and so successfully that they now own a totally new, massively profitable market. This wasn't an accident. We're talking about incredible foresight, breakthrough science, and, let's be honest, some incredibly shrewd business moves. All right, so the big question is, how? How in the world did they pull this off? Let's kick things off by looking at this incredible strategic transformation. I mean, they went from being this stable, predictable chronic care company to an absolute market king. To really get the scale of this, you've got to understand their history. For 100 years, a century, Novo Nordisk was insulin. If you thought of one, you thought of the other. They were this well-respected, steady leader in chronic care. But then, they made this incredibly calculated, deliberate shift towards something way, way bigger. And here is the proof in the pudding. I mean, just look at this chart. For years and years, you see exactly what you'd expect: steady, respectful growth. And then, bam, a complete vertical takeoff. It's like a rocket launch. This isn't just growth. This completely redefines the company's entire value. What you're looking at is the financial footprint of a modern-day gold rush. Okay, so how does a chart even do that? What caused that explosion? Well, it really all boils down to the science. But here's the kicker. They didn't just stumble upon some brand new miracle drug. No, they weaponized a molecule they already knew inside and out, and they aimed it squarely at a massive global problem. And this is the secret sauce: GLP-1 analogs. Now that sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. These drugs basically copy a hormone that your own gut produces. It's the hormone that tells your brain, hey, you're full, and it also helps keep your blood sugar in check. Now, they were first made for diabetes, but this is where the genius comes in. Novo Nordisk realized, wait a minute, this could be used for something much, much bigger. They saw the potential to tackle the global obesity epidemic. And this is what makes the strategy so brilliant. Just look at the difference here. They went from the old model, a standard kind of niche medical market focusing on managing diabetes, to this whole new paradigm. We're talking a massive lifestyle blockbuster. Instead of just diabetes, they targeted the global obesity epidemic. And that meant moving from a niche market to something with enormous, widespread consumer demand. They literally changed the entire game. But look, it's one thing to have a breakthrough product, right? It's another thing entirely to build a monopoly. To do that, you have to defend your turf, and that's exactly what Novo Nordisk did. They built this huge, almost impenetrable moat around their gold mine, and they did it with a really clever two-pronged defense.
And these are the two pillars holding up their entire kingdom. First up, the manufacturing bottleneck, and second, the patent fortress. Let's dig into what those actually mean.
So first, let's talk about manufacturing. This is absolutely key. We're not talking about just stamping out some pills here. The drug itself is a complex biologic, sure, but the real barrier to entry, it's the delivery system, those pre-filled injection pens. To make these things at a global scale with the kind of sterile precision you need is ridiculously hard. It creates this massive production bottleneck that basically suffocates any potential rivals before they can even get off the ground. For all intents and purposes, Novo Nordisk holds the only keys to the factory. Okay, but let's say, just for a second, some other company figures out the manufacturing puzzle. Well, they'd immediately slam right into a legal brick wall. Novo Nordisk has built what you can only call a patent fortress. They didn't just get one patent on the drug. Oh no, they used this aggressive strategy of patent layering, a dense, tangled web of patents covering the pen, the manufacturing process, you name it. It's a legal minefield designed to extend their monopoly for as long as possible and make it incredibly risky and super expensive for anyone else to even think about challenging them. So all of this brings us right up to today. You've got this 1-2 punch, a truly breakthrough product combined with a seemingly unbreachable defense. And what that's created is this new pharmaceutical gold rush. But here's the thing about this gold rush. For now, there's only one company holding the map. I mean, it's pretty simple. At this point, Novo Nordisk isn't just leading the market, they are the market. Everyone else, all the other pharma giants, they're left just scrambling, desperately trying to find a tiny crack in this perfectly constructed fortress. And that leaves us with the $1 million, or I guess $1 trillion question. What we're seeing here is a market capture on a scale we've rarely seen before. The conversation isn't really about, do these drugs work, anymore. We know they do. The real question is about the market itself. Is it even possible for another company to breach this monopoly? Or are we literally watching in real time a single company lock up what might become one of the most profitable markets in the history of medicine? I'm curious to know what you think.